how much it means. I would let you in, all the way in. Not into the parts I'm comfortable sharing, not into the curated and considered and carefully chosen parts. Into the actual interior, into the fear and the uncertainty, and the places that are still healing and the corners that haven't quite figured themselves out yet. I would let you be present for all of it. I would stop standing slightly outside my own life, and I would take you inside with me, all the way inside, and I would let you see everything. I would love you in a way that is informed by everything I have learned, by every mistake and every lesson, and every moment of understanding that has accumulated in me over all the years of getting things wrong and slowly getting them more right. I would love you with everything that experience has built in me, with the patience I have developed and the tenderness I have grown into and the specific, hard-won knowledge of what it means to show up for someone consistently, not because it is always easy, but because they are worth showing up for. And together, this is the part that I feel most deeply, the part that lives in me most vividly when I let myself really imagine it. Together we would give her something that neither of us could give her alone. We would give her the experience of watching two people choose each other and choose her and build something real and lasting out of those two choices. We would show her what it looks like when love is not convenient or easy or without cost, but chosen anyway, every day, because the people involved have decided that what they're building together is worth the choosing. That is one of the greatest gifts a child can receive, not the absence of difficulty, not a perfect or painless life, but the example of love that is real and chosen and sturdy, the evidence built into the foundation of her earliest years that this is what love looks like, that it shows up, that it stays, that it chooses you even on the hard days, that it is not conditional on your being easy or convenient or at your best. She would carry that her whole life, and I would watch her carry it, and I would know that we gave her that. You and I, together. And I think that knowledge, that specific, particular, deeply personal knowledge, would be one of the great joys of my life. One of the things I would reach for on hard days. One of the things that would make everything feel worth it. I have never said any of this out loud before. I want you to know that. I have thought it. I have felt it. I have carried it carefully in the private part of me that doesn't get shared easily. But I have never said it. And the fact that I'm saying it now, here to you, that is not an accident. That is not me being careless with something precious. That is me deciding consciously and with a full heart that you are the right place for it. You have always been the right place for the real things. And there is still more. There is still the part about what I've been learning from her, about what she has shown me about love in these 3 years that has changed the way I understand everything, changed the way I understand what I want, what I need, what I am capable of giving and receiving. There is still the part about what I've noticed in myself since I started really sitting with this want, instead of managing it from a distance. There is still the thing she did 2 days ago that made me laugh until I couldn't breathe, and then immediately made me wish, with a sharp and specific and completely undeniable ache, that you had been there to see it too, that you had been in the room, that her funny, startling, entirely herself moment had had a witness besides me, that the two of us could have looked at each other across that moment and shared it the way you share the things that are too good to hold alone, because some things are so good and so full that holding them by yourself feels like trying to carry something too wide for one pair of arms. You need another set. You need someone beside you whose hands can take some of the weight, not because it's heavy in a burdensome way, but because it's heavy in the way that joy is sometimes heavy, full and warm and larger than one person was designed to contain. That is what I want. Another set of hands. Not to take anything from me, not to replace anything or fix anything or step in where I have failed, just to be beside me, just to be the other person in the room when she does something that makes the whole world feel worth it, just to be the one I turn to in those moments with the look that doesn't need words, the look that says, "Are you seeing this? Are you seeing her? Isn't she the most remarkable thing?" I want someone to give that look to. 2 days ago she was drawing. She does this often, sits herself down with complete seriousness at her little table, arranges her things with a precision that I recognize as my own, and then draws with a focus that makes her look 40 years old and 3 years old at the same time. And I was nearby, doing something of my own, half watching her the way I'm always half watching her, even when I'm doing other things. And she finished something and held it up and said, with complete, unironic, absolute confidence, "Daddy, this is my best work, my best work." I put down everything I was holding. I looked at the drawing, which was, by any objective measure, a collection of enthusiastic circles and lines that suggested perhaps a person, perhaps a son, perhaps something entirely from a world I don't have access to, and I said, "It really is." Because it was. Because in its category, in the category of things made with full heart and complete commitment, and total absence of self-consciousness, it was genuinely her best work. She had given it everything. You could feel that in it. The way you can always feel in a thing, whether the person who made it held anything back. She held nothing back. And I laughed. This real, complete, whole-body laugh that came from somewhere deep, because she is funny in a way that is never trying to be funny, which is the best kind. And in the middle of laughing I felt it, that specific ache I told you about. That reach. That turn toward the space beside me that was empty. Because I wanted to share it. Because that moment was too good and too full, and too entirely her for me to be the only one who received it. I wanted you there. Not someone, not a general warm body to fill a space, you. With your specific way of paying attention. With your particular laugh, the real one. The one that comes out when something catches you off guard in the best way. With your eyes doing that thing they do, when you're genuinely delighted by something. And I know that thing exists even though I've never seen it. Because I know you. Because all this time has taught me the shape of you well enough to know that you have a particular quality of delight that is entirely your own. I wanted your delight in the room. And that wanting so specific, so clear, so completely certain of its own object, was what made me understand something I had been circling for a long time without quite landing on. I had been telling myself that what I needed was general. Someone warm, someone kind, someone patient and genuine and good. And all of those things are true. But they are not specific enough, because the one I actually feel is not general at all. It is particular. It is pointed. It is aimed. It is aimed at the kind of woman you are. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Let me be as specific as the want itself is, because you deserve specificity. You deserve someone who is not vague about what they see in you, who does not offer you the comfortable approximation of admiration, but the real and detailed version. So here is the real and detailed version of what I see when I pay attention to you. I see someone who has loved things that didn't love her back enough and survived.